My name's Max. I work in the projects team at Crowdfunder. We're a small team, but essentially what we do is we help as many projects on the platform get the most out of their fundraising needs. Um, I've been here for nearly 7 years now, and I guess over that time I've worked with thousands of all different types of organizations, charities, and community projects. And I think that's probably what's best about my role is that I get to talk to a whole vast array of different type of fundraisers every day, from whether it's a music venue or a large scale charity or a local social enterprise. The mix is it's always a mix, and it's always something different. So lots of different conversations going on.
Amazing. What are some of the typical day-to-day things that you see from project owners or that you have to help with?
I guess a lot of what I spend my time is on them and promoting their campaigns and marketing their campaigns and helping them get the most out of that. A lot of the projects I work with, have perhaps already created their pages. They're looking good. They've put a lot of effort into that themselves. They're making it look sharp. There's a lot of content available on the website, Crowdfunder, to help you do that. I help them fine tune their sort of marketing efforts a bit and get the most out of their fundraising. I'm a bit of a soundboard for their ideas. I try not to, influence them too much, but when they've got, they're suggesting things that they want to do, I'm I'm on hand to sort of steer them in certain directions and help them and say, yeah, that's a good idea, or maybe don't do that. We've seen that fail in the past. Every single project on the platform, no matter how big or small, experiences a slight lull in the middle of their campaign. It's natural. You see a lot of hype at the beginning, and you probably put a lot of effort into those first few days and weeks. And things do naturally calm down. That always happens. And there's things you can do to keep up that momentum. There's tweaks you can make. It's always good to keep regular touch points with your audience, because if you're not actively, promoting your campaign, they're not going to see it. There's a lot out there, isn't there, in the world, and not just in the world of fundraising. So if you're not talking about it, you're not communicating with your supporters or potential supporters, it will calm down. But, there's, you've got your deadline looming, and that's a great opportunity to sort of, channel a sense of urgency around that. And as long as you've got justification to keep fundraising, there's every reason people will continue to support you right up until the end.
It would be really helpful if maybe you could show me a project page, maybe my own project page, and kind of talk through what I could do. Could we do that?
Yeah, let's give it a go. So this is behind the scenes of your crowdfunder project. Everyone has a public facing crowdfunder page. That's what your supporters will see. But you have access to a whole world of things that you can do to help maximize the amount of money you can raise on crowdfunder. This is often the thing that people don't see when they first start delving into crowdfunding, because it's not publicly accessible until you've got a live project. But there's so much on offer here that you can use to get the most out of your fundraising efforts. I guess the first thing to look at here, you've got an overview of your project here, so you can see £5,000 been raised. You're into your stretch target of 10,000, so there's still, plenty of time. 11 days left to raise, that further 5k. You can see the supporters that have come in. Conversion rate is really interesting. Not everyone gets caught up on this, but 11.5% is really high. That essentially means that 11.5% of people that have landed on your project page have made a donation or selected a reward. It's above the average on Crowdfunder, so that's good. But it also tells me that there's still, 90 odd percent of people that have seen your project page but haven't supported yet. So, emphasizing the fact that you probably still want to go again with your messaging, go back to your audience, remind them that the campaign's still open. There's still rewards available. There's still reason to give. As long as you're giving justification to keep fundraising in your stretch target, people will still give. So that's important as well to make clear. You can see how, again, snapshot of this, but you can see in the early days, you've seen a lot of spike of activity. and
Yeah.
perhaps this is when you've done little pushes or little prompts online, you see the direct correlation of any activity that you're doing results into pledges and money coming on the board. The same with page views. You can see, it coincides with the money that's being pledged. More activity on the page, more money being pledged. It's sort of not rocket science. If you're putting your crowdfunder out there, people are going to come, see, hopefully like what they see, and make a donation or select a reward. In terms of things that you can do to utilize your dashboard, well, there's a promo section. So Crowdfunder's created lots of helpful content for you to put out there. You can easily share your pages on social media. I mean, if you haven't done that already, that's probably a given. You can send it on Facebook, via WhatsApp groups, via Twitter. You can get that project out there. We make it as easy as possible for you to do that. We create a QR code for every single project page. So you can download that QR code and put it on a poster, especially if you're doing events, where people are coming, or you've got a physical space. Crowdfunding is an online platform, but don't forget your local community and where you do a lot of your day-to-day activities. You could maximize that. A QR code is sort of a means to get people that are in the offline world online and supporting your project. So, utilize that. You can create direct links to donate in the checkout. So if you wanted to say, I want everyone to give 20 quid, you can send them directly to that. So they don't have to see your project page. You can go straight to the checkout. That's particularly good if you want to send like marketing emails to your supporter base and get them to go direct to checkout rather than multiple steps, from going from the email to your project page through to the checkout to donate. You can make it as smooth a process as possible. And we help you with like creating copy to share your project page with your friends and family and close contacts. So sending email is massive in the crowdfunder world, whether you've got an email database or you're just contacting close friends, relatives, people in the community. A more direct personal approach it can be massive, especially in the middle of the campaign. You might have done a lot of sort of more external promotion on social media. Maybe now's the time to follow up with some of your supporters or people that haven't supported yet, either thanking them or saying, hey, there's still an opportunity to get involved. You've still got some really great rewards. Subtly reminding them, you can, don't be afraid. You've got 2 weeks left to go.
Mm-hmm.
You can, you're probably not going to talk about your crowdfunder again for some time, unless you do one in the future. So use this time now. Don't shy away from talking about it and telling people about it. And then there's stuff if you want to get even more technical. You can create trackable links. So if you're perhaps a bit of a bigger organization or you want to really hone in on your marketing efforts, you can create bespoke trackable links to your crowdfunder page. And you can see what activity you're doing is driving pledges. So if you put it on a Facebook post, you could send that link out via Facebook, and you can see how much money that's making, and you could double down on it if it's working well. Likewise, if you perhaps send out an email, you can see how well did that email perform. Should I be doing more of that? So there's all those opportunities in the promo section. Something that I think is a given, and more projects should utilize, is sending updates. Now, updates are a great way to share information about your project to your supporters and anyone who's coming across your page. So an update will be emailed to everyone who's supported your project so far. So within legitimate interest, you can tell them about what's going on with your project. You see, you've already sent one update to everyone celebrating the fact that you've hit your original goal.
Yeah.
Well, you could also sort of use it to say thank you, celebrate key milestones. If you've got anything new, you might have some new rewards you're offering. You can tell them about. You might be using it to keep them, just keep them in the loop about what's going on around the overall project.
Yeah.
These are the 107 plus supporters who've already backed your campaign. They want to know what's going on. They feel a part of what you're doing. And if you keep them in the loop, they might continue to talk about it up until the very end. And if they can encourage someone else to support it, well, that's just brilliant, isn't it? Because you're sort of doubling the number of supporters you've got. there's other things you can look at. So you can obviously see your comments that people have been sending, which is obviously really nice. Some people take these comments and then put them up on their socials um, to sort of distill that community support around the campaign. You can see everyone who's supported you so far. So if you wanted to contact someone either around a specific reward, or if you wanted to contact certain people that have pledged so much money, you can select them and send them a personal message. You've got reports. I mean, I won't go into too much detail about that, but that's essentially all the information about your supporters and what you can and can't say with them, or if you've got rewards that you need to fulfill, you can download those specific rewards. You can download all the comments. Widgets. So this is a good one. So the widget section, you can add if you've got your own website or your organization's got its own website, you can include and embed the donate to your crowdfunder button on your website. So if you've got a lot of traffic on your website, or you've got a page yourself, you can encourage people to click on those links and go straight through to the crowdfunder. There's a few different variations. So it can be sort of like giving them the monetary value of what they're donating, or it can be a simple button.
I feel like, some of those things in hindsight, I wish I knew earlier. So now hopefully other people can know it from the start. So I guess I want to finish off by asking, what is your one top tip for project owners?
I think top tip. Well, I think we touched upon it earlier, but you're live for a certain period of time, and continue to actively promote your crowdfunder for the entire time that you're open. You don't need to continue to say the same message over and over again. We're crowdfunding, but you need to keep those touch points up with your audience. And I guess it's don't lose faith in that midpoint of the campaign. A lot of what I do, is I'm just consoling project owners and customers in the middle of their journey, reassuring them that everything's going to be all right. Now, everything is going to be all right as long as you keep up that activity. The worst thing you can do is lose faith and go, that's it now, I'm done. I think, I guess one of the key things that I would say to people is at that middle point, it's now more important than ever to double down on your efforts and really ramp up to that final flurry at the end, because a lot can happen between now and the end of the campaign. So don't rest on your laurels. Give it one final push, and you'll be surprised about the results. We've seen some incredible things happen in the last few days of the campaign, from people being 500,000 off their target to raising it, in a few days. That's on the extreme end, but it's possible. And I guess everyone's audience is different, but just don't neglect it until the crowdfunder is finished.